Let's do it.
Hello, everybody. This is DJ Greg. Welcome to the DJ Greg podcast. Check this out. I'm in the confines of Columbus, Ohio, with the one and only DJ right here. This guy's resume is so full, I can't even put any more things about him on this sheet of paper.
You're gonna get
Ladies and
carpal tunnel,
gentlemen,
man.
this is Mike Salone, aka DJ Axcess. My dude, what's happening?
Hey, thank you. We don't have the audience, so I gotta clap for myself here.
There you go. I'll clap for you.
Right. No,
Got
I'm
your
just
back.
messing around. Thanks for having me on, Greg. I appreciate it, man. Thank you. It's been a long time. We got together. What was that? The DJC or Midwest?
It was DJC.
Yeah.
That's where I met
Nashville,
you.
Nashville.
In Nashville, yep,
Yeah, at the
exactly.
brunch. Now it's
Yes,
all
at the
coming back.
brunch. Yes.
Yeah,
Did you see me dancing on the dance floor, man? I was acting up.
probably, man. I was probably right next to you or right behind you, doing
You're
like
right.
just
You were right there. That's
yeah.
right. Now
As
that I
long as I'm not the
remember,
first person out, I'll be dancing, but I can't be the first person out.
right? I was out there with Rob Ferre, though. Really
Hmm.
good guy. Really good
Absolutely.
dude. So, okay, my man, you in Columbus, Ohio, native. How did you get started DJing?
Yeah, great question, Greg. So I started as a break dancer in high school. There was like me and maybe two other guys who were kind of anytime the dance circle would open during the high school dances, we would doing our thing. And I'm not gonna lie, I was probably the third best. But I was going to college, and I was like, well, maybe I could be, somebody here, whatever. Maybe people aren't doing that. So I was doing my thing at a party, probably drunk, and when I wasn't supposed to be. And girl came up to me and was like, hey, I see you doing your thing. Would you like to get paid to do this? And I'm like, what you talking about? So I came to find out that she did bar and bat mitzvahs, right? So
Okay.
basically party entertainers, simple, easy moves that you can do to keep the 13-year-olds entertained for a little bit while the parents
Right
have
on.
some fun. And one day DJ didn't show up, and they were like, Mike, you're usually the guy with the iPod, give it a shot. And I was terrible, man. All I really knew was Michael Jackson and Justin Timberlake and whatever people requested. Because, it seems easy now, but when you're not
Mm-hmm.
expecting to be thrown into it, oh man, that was an eye-opening experience. So it was a miserable, terrible time the first time I went out there. I probably ruined somebody's party. But I said, okay, if that ever happens again, I want to be ready. Went out, bought some Fisher Price gear, and fell in love with the art of DJing as we all do. So the rest is pretty much history. But that's how I got into it. I had a number of mentors, guides, bosses on the way to where I am now as an independent single op DJ. I've done the multi op thing. I do a lot of sports. Dancing is a major focus at anything I do. Corporate travel, and I've really touched everything in DJing outside of radio, and there's not really a desire for me to do that. So I like to take all that knowledge and then share it with upcoming DJs or chop it up with people like you and just talk about this thing that we love so much.
Right on. And I see that you presented at a conference recently, right?
Yes, it did. Pittsburgh DJ Summit. One of the
Oh,
best days of my life, man.
what? Okay. Wait, but obviously nervous, but you had everything in preparation,
Hmm.
and you were good to go.
Yeah, I can talk about that preparation process if you want, or the nerves, or whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, go into it. What was your preparation? What did you speak of? Because I missed it.
Yeah, it's
So
okay. It'll be out soon. I'll be uploading videos here as I get them edited and things. I spoke about stems, so I wanted to talk about creative mixing with stems. Creative mixing has always been my thing, and now that we have stems to really dial in on exactly the parts of the song that we're able to play as DJs. I forget who said it back in the day, but he said that DJing is taking the best parts of songs and playing them, and that always stuck with me. So,
right.
that for DJs who only play the chorus, so that you have to get to the third verse because that's where the big sing along is. And now having stems, man, everyone dances to this bass line, but I could use these drums and add a different
Mm-hmm.
element. Or I'm playing this weird style of music that and not everyone is going to be vibe with. This is what they're asked to be played, but not everybody's vibing with it. Let me take these sing-alongs, these acapellas that I know everybody knows to kind of bring everybody together. So that's what I talked about, how the safety, what kind of computer you need, what pitfalls to avoid, how you know whether the song is actually going to sound good. and then how you can incorporate into your sets, and then the reasoning why you might want to be doing that. Because I was just talking about you with the earlier, AI is coming, and
Right.
there's going to be, it's not necessarily that AI is going to replace us, but let's say that AI replaces all these other jobs. People are going to start
Mm-hmm.
seeing, man, I got that DJ friend, DJ Greg. He seems to be doing all right, man. It seems like he's having fun. He's making good money. I bet you I could do that. And they're getting to skip all of the learning how to DJ, the AI
Mm-hmm.
playlist, the AI mixing, everything that you need. And if maybe they were a marketing person in their job, they did sales. Now they have the sales aspect, and they were doing customer
Mm-hmm.
service. They got the customer service aspect. What else is there? You get the sales to get them to get the show. You use your customer service to do a good job, and then now AI is taking care of all the music and the mixing, and maybe you just a personality on a microphone. So we went over all that. As far as preparation, it started about 6 months before the show, and maybe even you could argue before that, because I've been doing voice training. I've had two different voice coach, one that I worked with over Zoom, and another one where I bought
Mm-hmm.
their course. Vin Jang is his name, and he's fantastic. If anyone's listening, it's VINHGIANG. You can find him on YouTube and Instagram, or his big platforms, and he teaches communication skills. So what I did with both of those teachers is take what they taught me and then bring it over into DJing. So you could say it started maybe a year and a half before I started, but the actual planning of the STEMS presentation probably started about 6 months beforehand. And I came up with an outline. I started working with topics I wanted to cover, the structure, and I knew I was going to make a video beforehand, because one thing
Mm-hmm.
I see from these presenters is they're talking about DJ, they're talking about DJ. I gotta see you. I don't really know you as a DJ. I think we talked about this. I have a sneaking feeling that we talked about this when we were hanging out. That I don't know you as a DJ until I hear you spin 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes,
Right.
8 minutes, whatever. I gotta hear you play something before
Right.
I can take your advice, or maybe not before I can take your advice, but before I really understand who you are and what I'm gonna take from what you're saying. So I
Right.
started with that to kind of hook people in and say, okay, this guy's actually doing something. He's really incorporating stems. He's quick. He's got some cuts, this, that, the other. And so I started with that, built the guidelines, and then it was just practice. And what was really good this time that I changed was I recorded myself doing the presentation, and then I was at the gym, I was walking, getting my steps in, and I would just listen to it over and over and over and over. And not only was I memorizing the speech, but I was also being really picky about what words I was choosing, what I talked about, how concise, how leaving myself room to tell stories. And the storytelling was the key part. So memorizing and delivering those stories and just creating the content over the time of 6 months, listening and then
Oh,
repeating it
cow.
was the whole process.
Man, I mean, have you ever attended a Toastmasters meeting?
No, it's
Oh, you
funny.
have?
I went to look into that, and
Mm-hmm.
the one in my chapter, or the chapter that's in my town, just seemed like it was, I wasn't going to go in and learn anything. It seemed like they were people who are, again, this is just in my area, that
Yeah.
they were maybe speaking for the first time, not people who are, been DJing or been performing in front of crowds for 10 plus years and trying to enhance their process. It was more people trying to, I don't know anything about this. I'm really nervous to speak. How do I even start to do this? At least in my town.
Right, right. Because the one that I attended here in Minnesota, they were very good. And a lot of people think just because you're a DJ, you can go out and just speak and you're fine. It's one thing to speak when the lights are lowered, when you're in that low lit atmosphere, and then another way when the lights are on,
Right,
because now you're in a different kind of stratosphere. And that's what I got out of it. Like learning how to speak when the lights are on and
right.
everybody can see you, not just the people up front when it's dark.
Absolutely.
So that was a really good experience. Okay, let's move on, man, because I mean, because like I said earlier, your resume is packed. What was the process for you getting into being the DJ for the Blue Jackets?
Sure. So I'll kind of start with how I got into sports in general. I went to Ohio State, or sorry, the Ohio State University. The Buckeye people are gonna
Buckeyes.
come get me, right? I'm not the craziest. I'm a OSU fan. I love the Buckeyes, but I think our fan base is a little crazy sometimes. But I started doing stuff with them. DJ for I was the first DJ inside of Ohio Stadium. Started doing stuff for the hockey team and
Hmm.
the basketball men's basketball team. Moved over to the Columbus Crew, which is our MLS team. We just won the cup not last year, but the year before. And
Yeah.
I was doing stuff first on the plaza for them and then in the stadium. And then that's when the Blue Jackets called. They already had DJs that were playing in the stadium, but they
Hmm.
were getting into the playoffs, so they wanted to bring somebody in who maybe is was going to put on a little bit more of a show. So they had me in this shaky ass lift, and sorry, I don't know if I can curse, but they had me
Oh,
in
you
this
can.
lift and that I was DJing on, and that actually spawned one of my most viral videos ever because I had to fake a part of my DJ routine, right? So I'm in this shaky lift on
Yeah.
turntables. They wanted to make sure that I was on turntables because that's the look that they were going for.
Okay.
And I said, listen, this shaky lift, turntables, needles, this is not how this works. So what we
Hmm.
decided to do, the the audio box, the engineers, they were going to play my backing track, and then I was
Got
going
it.
to live scratch over it because I had something in my heart that said I didn't want to be up there completely faking the routine. If I mess up a scratch,
Hmm.
17,000 people aren't going to notice. There's going to be a few DJs that go, "Oh, you messed up his chirp scratch," and that's going to
Right,
be it. I
right.
can handle that. So
Man.
that's the I was trying to share the knowledge on people because it was a shock for me. Honestly, it was a little bit embarrassing for my brand because I was very, foot down. I'm not faking my set. I'm not faking my set. I kind of not lost my cool, but
Mm.
my brand is about just being flexible and rolling with the punches. And it's one of the first times I really kind of put my foot down and said, I'm not faking my routine. And I'm glad we found a, a middle ground, but it could have
Right.
easily been a situation where they were like, okay, you're not going to do it our way. We're going to go find someone else who will. And I'm glad it didn't get to that.
Yeah.
So that's how I got DJing for the Blue Jackets. I perform with them on the team now. I'm not just like a special event guy. I'm on the team. It's a lot of fun, and
Oh,
I'm enjoying
nice.
hockey, man. I played like we did roller hockey in the street growing up, but
Uh,
I was never like an ice hockey fan. And as I've been working with the team more, I'm really starting to enjoy the sport.
okay. And then how long you been with the team?
Ooh, so as a team member, this is my second year, and then
Okay.
I think I did my first performance with them 2018. I think that's when we made the playoffs, and that's kind of when they called. But the sports DJing probably started in 2011, 2012. So it wasn't like, okay, I'm going straight for NHL, 20,000 people in the stands,
Right.
all eyes on you. It was a slow, gradual process, and that's probably the theme for a lot of my DJ career.
Right. When you got 20,000 people eyes on you, man, what is it that you feel? What is that?
You want the truth?
I want the truth.
The truth is it's a lot easier than people think. There's
Okay.
that first initial block that's in your head that it's like it's 20,000 people, it's 20,000 people, but really
Hmm.
it's just you and the camera. They're all in the stands. They may be paying attention, they may not, but as long as you're interacting with the camera, if you're used to doing stuff where you're talking to your Instagram, maybe you have a studio set up and you did uh, Twitch during the pandemic or you've been
Yep.
streaming, it's really more like that than it is. I
Mm.
not that I get like nervous, but it's far more intimidating to have a crowd of 20 people right up on the DJ booth watching every little hand motion you make. Hey, he's not like that butt doesn't even do anything. Like whatever.
Right.
Like it's a lot more in your face to have 20 people close to the decks, maybe even around you, than to be looking at one camera that's being broadcasted to 20,000 people. So you get that the first time you do it, you have the nerves and you get that rush of, man, I'm DJing to 20,000 people. And for me, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but for me, it wears
Mm.
off a little bit because I think
Mm.
you're the kind of person who's like me where the best parties are those ones where maybe it's only 50, 100 people, but they're right up on you. You can
Right.
like they can high five you if you want. Like you're
Yes.
in the party with them. They're feeling the music. You're feeling the music. That's when I feel my best as a DJ, not necessarily when there's just a big old camera in my face and I'm doing all the hype stuff. Yeah, I gotta show the jersey, like having all those little movements that you do,
Yeah.
and it's just getting broadcasted on a jumbotron. Yeah, they're there, but they're not there.
Yeah. Yeah. Not all 20,000 are looking at you.
Right,
You know,
right.
it can't be. So yeah, I definitely get that. That's a great way of explaining that. I like that.
Of
Now,
course,
of course, you made the transition also to full-time DJ.
I did.
And when did that start for you?
Mhm. So I was full time after college, not by choice. I had a job lined up in Chicago for a HR job, and right as I was looking for apartments, they said my contract was canceled. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm a full time DJ now. That was probably in 2010, late 2010, or mid 2010, and then around 2012. Is when I was turning, I think 26, something like that. Anyway, the health insurance was running out,
Yeah,
right? So that
yeah, that's
that
that
was the
age.
major that
That's
was
an
the major kick in the
Obamacare.
butt. Yeah, exactly. That was the kick in the butt where it's like $400 a month or whatever it was at the time. I better get a job. I don't want to be paying for this. Somebody else has got to pay for this. So I ended up working for PNC from 2012 to 2017. I did a number of
Okay.
jobs for them. Teller, a universal banker, which is basically they combine the teller position along with the, I guess what you call it, like a general banking position. And the idea was that you're the person who's working with these customers all the time. You know them, you know their finances. What's stopping you from taking them when they're doing an easy transaction, saying, hey, it looks like you could use one of our credit cards, and then doing it without having to transfer them to someone they've never talked to before. So
Oh, okay.
that was
Okay.
the job that I was doing. I moved to a number of different branches, found out what people who were actually making money were doing. I think we get an idea of the person with the nicest car, the biggest house, the
Hmm.
coolest trips is actually the one with the most money. And when you work at a bank for 5 years, you realize that sometimes that's the case, but it's not all the time. And the people who are actually got money in the savings account or the 501, not 501, their Roth IRA or whatever, that those are the people who are actually building wealth for their family, for themselves and their families. So it was
Right.
an eye-opening experience. I learned a lot from that. But in 2017, I'm a professional dude. I would have loved, I always thought that I'd give my 2 weeks notice and this and that, but I walked in, I was dressed for work, and I
Hmm.
looked at my boss, I looked around, I said, I think I'm done. She goes, huh?
What?
And I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. She goes, you don't want to give your 2 weeks? I said, no. And that's why I got my stuff and I walked out. And
Slowed out.
yeah, and I'm not saying that in a positive light. Like I don't look back on that
Mm,
like proudly or anything, but that's just
right.
how I felt. I couldn't work another day. I always had I had goals. Okay, I want to have XYZ in the
Right.
checking, XYZ in the savings, XYZ in the business, and I'll give my 2 weeks and I'll get out of there. I wasn't there. I was close, but I wasn't there. It
Mm,
was just something, and I don't know. Some people, it's God. Some people, it's a vision. Whatever it was, it just
right.
said that, hey, you're done, and that was it. And I was full time and I felt good. And I started to have more time to focus on the business, the brand. I built a multi op. Well, I helped build a multi op after that. Got out of that quite frankly after the pandemic. So it's yeah, that was. I wish I had like a it was this and that the other kind of story, but one day I was just done. That was it.
Wow, man. And I spoke to a couple of other DJs about that situation,
Mhm.
about how they were able to just say, enough is enough. I'm going to do this full time. And each story is unique,
Yeah,
and it's got twists. It's funny, man. That you just walk into a building and say, "I'm done."
done.
I never heard
And
that.
if you'd have told me
That's crazy.
as a younger man, if you told me you're gonna do that, like I would never do that. Are you kidding me? No, two
Right.
weeks. Now I encourage nobody to do a 2 week. No, like at least those companies back in the day used to pretend like they cared about you. Now they're not even pretending. Like
Oh
they're
no,
not giving
it's
you a two
different.
weeks notice if they fire you. So
Right,
if
right.
you're done, be done.
Be
What are you gonna?
done.
And I did like my job. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hate going to work every morning. There were tough
Okay.
mornings because I'd be at the club till 2:30, and then have to be there by 7:30. So that was the
Yeah,
toughest part. But I didn't hate my job, so I can only imagine the people who hate their job and are just waiting to leave so they can focus on their DJ career. I wasn't like that.
man. That's crazy. That's crazy. So all right, so now you're in it full time and you did the multi. What was the thing about the multi-op that you didn't like? Because I'm in that right now.
Yeah, COVID just presented a lot of issues. I was good at running things very, very smoothly, and so it wasn't a
Hmm.
big time sink. I would do the meetings with my clients. I knew what 5 to 7 DJs we had on staff, and I'd say, okay, this will be a good fit for them. Most of the time I was right, and then they
Right.
would take over the process. And that wasn't a huge time sink for me, especially for the amount that I was getting paid. But at some point during the pandemic, when you were rearranging the calendars for 7 dudes, managing people being sick, this, that, the other, and then not running into legal troubles, but running into situations that could have caused legal troubles,
Mm.
and thinking to myself, wow, would I really want to get involved with that? I trust myself to make great decisions. Can I trust these other 5 to 7 people? Originally, the answer was yes, but as COVID started to test us both financially, in our mental health, just in
Yeah.
everything that was going on back then, it
Right.
it it made me realize that, okay, maybe I just want to focus in on what I do and not have to worry about this stuff, because during that I was also trying to deal with all that stuff too. But then as you know, as a multi-op, you don't get to just deal with your problems. You got to deal with the whole team's problems. So
Right.
that was just I made a decision that my brand was more important than building all the other people's brands. And now I found again a healthy medium where I'm building my brand, but I'm still doing the education part, which was the training was the part that I enjoyed the most. So I'm still
Okay.
getting to do the training part just through social media, YouTube, and conference presenting, rather than doing it within the scope of a multi-op.
Okay. Will you do more conference presenting?
Oh, that's one of the main readings I just had with my brand auditor. We're
Hmm.
really going to be diving in and seeing how I can do more of those, because I really enjoy it, and I think that's how I'm gonna get the brand to a national basis. That's how I'm gonna get the follower count that I'm looking for. That's when I'm gonna start hitting the radar of the rooms that I want to be in.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. What were some of the mistakes you made like along the way? Uh, if you, what were some of the things that you had to transition to keep the business going?
Yeah, I I can't think of too many mistakes. I'm pretty conservative in how I operate from a business from perspective. Don't go crazy on me, people.
No.
Just conservative in how I run my business. So the decision
Hmm.
making parts I've always been pretty good at. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm not lying here. What do I want to talk about? Mistakes.
Got your
So if
hand on
I
the Bible?
was, yeah, right. No, hands up here. Uh, so if I was trying to maximize the amount of profit I was trying to make, I bought way, way, way too much gear. I did not need a, a, a set to go out, a set in the studio, a backup set, and then a set that's just hanging out in the house in case some DJ comes over and I want to do a 2x4. I did not
Right,
need all
right.
that gear. So if I was the kind of person who was eh, really trying to maximize profits, and that's my goal as a DJ. I bought way, way, way too much gear. I didn't need all that, and that's something I could go back and redo again if money was. But I enjoyed it. It didn't happen often, but when I did have a DJ come over and the decks were already set up, ready to go, and we did our little two
Mhm.
boy four where I'm juggling a beat, they're scratching, vice versa, just mixing tracks into each other, doing back to back sets, recording. Those some really fun times. Was it worth the $5,000 setup investment? Heck no, but it was fun,
Right,
and
right, right. I
it seemed like
totally
a good
get it.
idea at the time. So just buying too much gear, I'd say, is the only mistake I made. But I think mistakes are tough because I feel like you make the best decisions uh, that you can with the information that you have. Were there some purchase? Oh, here we go. This was a purchase that I should not have bought. I bought a Max Design Super XL. So he has an XL, and then I got a Super XL because I wanted my Rain 12s and my Rain 72 to sit in a piece of furniture. It had two big old cases, and that was
Yeah.
probably one of the worst purchases I've made. So I'll say that's a mistake. But again, that goes
I,
back to gear.
I'll say this. I love Danny
Yeah.
Max. I love my Danny Max table, but the top on that Excel, when you lift it, I got Pioneer and two CDJs. When I lift
Yeah.
it, man, it's the heaviest thing ever.
Yep, yep,
It's
yep. So okay, so I'm glad I talked to somebody who knows what I'm talking about.
man, it's the heaviest thing ever. I should have went lighter with the right now I got a Rain 4 and a in the smaller Danny Max case, and it's light years lighter
Yeah,
than the XL. I still
mhm,
love the XL, but it's huge.
Exactly. I
You know,
just sold mine to a buddy in Pittsburgh, and I haven't looked back. You know, so there's times where I sell gear. I'm like, oh man, I wish I still had such and such. Nah, that's not one of them.
it looks good though.
It does. Oh,
But but
100%.
but lifting it is another thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Lifting up is another thing.
And
And speaking
transportation,
of yeah,
getting it
speaking of
there.
which, I heard you speaking about the Toadmatic.
Mhm.
I know what's his name?
DJ Toad.
Yeah, DJ Toad. I know he's out in your neck of the woods.
Yep, Cincinnati, about 2 hours south.
Right on. Now, have you purchased the Toadmatic?
Two. So this could
Two.
arguably be, yeah, this could arguably be one of another my this worst purchases. I had in my head, I finally got my transit van, and
Okay.
I felt like I was ready for a Toadmatic because I was at Midwest and the
Hmm.
Midwest DJ conference, and I watched him roll in his DJ decks with tripods, maybe a couple speakers on them. He rolled it
Right.
in. He took the speakers, he took the tripods off, he opened the thing, and like put on a laptop stand, plugged it in, and he was done. And it was probably under 7 minutes, like a whole little
Holy
rig
cow.
done. And I was like,
Holy cow.
that's what I want. And since I
Right.
finally had a van, I could do it. But I was impatient because he takes orders, and then once it gets to a certain amount of orders, he'll do a run. Well,
Okay.
I just missed the last run. So I had to wait 3 or 4 months. So I was on Facebook, eBay looking for a used Toadmatic, and I found one in Boston. So I drove 12 hours to Boston. Luckily, I had a gig in New York for the return trip, so it sort of made sense, but it still didn't make sense. So 12-hour trip out there, picked it up, used it the next day at the gig, and it was just slightly too big. It was a 49 inch. He doesn't make it anymore.
Okay.
So I ordered a 42 inch, and I was going to sell the 49 inch. Well, I was having trouble selling the 49 inch. So I had it refurbished, which was great. Toad's really good about, hey, yeah, come to the shop. We worked on it together, so it's in a place where I can sell it. It was a little
Okay.
run down. So now I'm like, all right, well, I can sell it, but then I'm looking at my Rain 72 and my Rain 12s just sitting in cases, and I was like, wait a minute. I could put those in there
We
and
need
I could
some for
keep
these
this.
boys too.
Yeah. Yeah. So so I should sell it. I haven't yet. And I have the 42, and that's my normal wedding
Okay.
corporate. A setup. I got a Allen and Heath 12 CQ12 in there. That's really cool. Got the feedback reducer, all that. And it's like I said, it's just nice. It works as a case. I roll it in. People love the TV. I don't care about the TV. I just love rolling in,
Just
rolling
roll
out.
it in and
Everything's
plug it
set up
in.
and good. Yep, yep, yep.
Nice, man. Yeah, I was looking at that too. I was really eyeing it, and I was like, let me save my marriage first. Make me not get this right now. You
Wait,
know what
what,
I'm
what
saying?
what vehicle you got? What are you rolling with?
I have a Plymouth Voyager, so it wouldn't
Okay,
roll in
okay.
there. I need a
Yeah,
bigger van.
yeah.
You know?
Ford Transit Connect is pretty solid if you want that 42. 55, it's not good, but if you want a
Okay.
42-inch, the Ford Transit Connect's really good.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good to know. I'm gonna tuck that right back there and then
Yep.
pitch that to the wife
Well,
later on.
call me. Yeah, yeah, call me, man. I can talk
I'm
to
a,
the wife. I'll do a nice little sales pitch.
yeah, there we go. I love
Here's
it.
why DJ Greg needs the Toadmatic.
I need this right here. Come on.
Think about how happy he'll be. The happier he is, the happier you are.
Oh man. Oh man, we all happy.
Yep,
She's gonna be looking at the finances though. She's the
exactly.
accountant.
Yep,
But
yep.
anyway, hey, what before we get out of here, what's
Mhm.
your meaning of success? The DJ Access meaning of success.
Hmm. I'll look at this two ways. So if I'm looking at goals, I want DJ Access to be a national brand, and I'd like to do 4 speaking engagements per year and 2 large scale events a year, over 1,000 people, where they're actually dancing, not just some corporate event, but like music festival type shows. I like to have 2 of those a year, 4 travel
Okay.
gigs, four yeah, 4 travel gigs, and then 4 educational presentations, workshops, whatever you want to call it. So
Okay.
those are goals. And then as far as success, this is whether it's DJ Access or Mike Salone, it's always been about happiness. Is in the moment, am I happy? Do I wake up excited about what I have going on that day? And I try to keep it simple, because I feel like the more you complicate it, the further you're going to get away from messages, the harder it is to quantify it. But if it really just boils down to my internal happiness and whether every day I'm excited to do what I have to do. I have my little weekly tasks. I have to take care of my clients. I have content to make, but am I excited about doing it? Do I miss a day? Heck yeah, I miss a day, but I'm probably not going to miss two. I'm probably almost certainly
Okay.
not going to miss 3 days in a row unless I'm on vacation. So
Right.
that's what it's all about to me, and just finding happiness in personal and professional life.
Right on, man. I like that. And if anybody wants to reach out to you,
Mhm.
how do they get to you on the socials?
Sure. At DJ Axcess Music on everything, at DJ AXCESS Music. The X is the bane of my existence. We'll have to talk about that on the next podcast.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep, you can find me. You can find me there if you're looking for the educational content. YouTube's where to go. If you're just looking for, some. I mean, the educational content's due, but some just normal DJ stuff and how to connect with me, I'd say Instagram's the best for that.
Awesome. Awesome. Mike, I once again, I can't thank you enough, man.
Yeah, happy to do
Eh,
it. No, I'm not gonna let you get out of here quite yet, Greg. What's been up with
yeah,
you,
yeah,
man?
go ahead.
Catch me up. What's been going on with you?
With me, oh, a
Yeah,
whole
how's the
lot.
gigs been going? You got the multi-op.
I got the multi-op going. This weekend we got two weddings. So Friday I'll be at this barn open front type of venue. And then Saturday I'm heading out to the city. They want throwbacks, 2000s. They want the
Okay,
whole deal. Danny Mac's table, man. They just want me to just go off.
nice.
Uh
Wait, time
Very
out. You
excited.
in Minnesota though?
I'm in
February
Minnesota,
wedding?
man. It's
Two
minus four
February
out
wedding?
here. Said, yeah, I got two wet. Yeah. I
Oh,
had I had one on February 1st. It was snowing, but
dang
I
man,
got in. It's a crazy vibe over here weather-wise,
gotta get
man.
that discount. I would give it to him.
You
That's
got
great.
Sun Country out here, man. Get on the plane and come out here and experience this cold.
I
It's
need
it's
to.
on
I got
another
family in.
level.
Are you? How close are you to Minneapolis? I got family there. I gotta make a trip.
I'm close. I'm like 20 minutes away. I'm in,
Okay,
I'm in
nice.
St. Paul. Just get on Highway 94. I could be in Minneapolis in 20 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'll let you know next time I'm out there. Like I said, I got family I gotta visit. They're always hitting me up like, "Oh, you're going to New Orleans? You're not going to Minnesota?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's February."
Don't, don't come now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't come now. The best month to come is like August, September. That's the best month.
Yeah, seriously
That
though, thank you for reaching out, having me on the podcast. Like I said before we started, this is therapy for me. Just talking DJ to DJ, share my
yes.
story, practicing my speaking skills. This
Same
is
thing,
great.
same thing here. I know it's not a big podcast, but it's really for me.
Yeah,
It's really for me. Chop it up, and if anybody connects to it, then they can learn something too.
right, right. And
That's
I
all it
really just putting it
is.
out there for these people, man.
Right on, man. I appreciate it. When I'm ready for that Toadmatic, man, I'm gonna hit you up.
Yeah, I got the videos. I'll tell you how to set it up, man. I got everything.
Okay? You gonna post it up soon?
Yeah, so actually, I think I might have posted it this past summer, but I might want to do like a whole setup video. You can buy my 49 if you're ready. That'd be great. My wife would
I'm
love you.
not ready for the
Get
49.
that out of the garage.
I
Get
got I
that thing
got
out of the
this I
garage.
got this Plymouth Voyager, man. I can't vibe
Yeah, I
yet.
know, I know, I know. Drive a hard bargain. All right, okay, man. Well, I'll let you go. Thank
All
you.
right, I'll let you
Have a great rest
go.
of the day.
Yeah, you too, Mike. Thank you once
Yep,
again, man, and take care.
of course. Peace.
All right, peace. All right.